Hey guys, happy last day of the month of March. I want to talk to you really quickly about what's taking place today and what it means for the next span of at least 15 years of time. Neptune is moving into Aries today. Neptune is moving into Aries, and we'll talk about what that means in just a second. It's going to be in Aries from the 30th of March till the 22nd of October this year. And then it's going to go back from October 22nd to January 29th, January 26th, 2026. It's going to be dip back into Pisces, and then from 2026, January 26th, 2026 until 2039, Neptune is going to be in the sign of Aries. This is a big deal in as much as this is the second outer planet changing signs. We all know the fireworks that went off when Pluto went into Aquarius, what a big shift is. It's palpable to feel that we live in new times, and maybe a little bit disorienting. Neptune's going to add an extra layer to that, and I want to talk about what that might mean for us. And let's first think about the themes of Neptune and Aries. And Neptune is just, when it was moving into Aries, it just has spent the last span of time in the sign of Pisces. And we know a little bit about this topic because we just had the eclipse yesterday, and there was all that energy in Pisces and all that energy in Aries. And I talked about there's kind of this interesting dichotomy, because Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. And Pisces when it's in its upliftment, it's about the culmination, the culling of the wisdom of all the signs of the zodiac, of the last trip around the sun. What have we learned, and how have we been able to be in flow and give and receive energy with the cosmos? Are we dancing, or are we stuck? And so, depending on whether or not we're reading the energy, we're moving with the energy, Pisces can be a very deep, compassionate, wisdom-keeping sign, and we can really sort of go into wisdom that is beyond this lifetime, tap into this sort of collective consciousness wisdom. And if that's the case, then when we next find ourselves in Aries, and whatever planet is doing this is just the trajectory of how the planets go. They go from Pisces into Aries, and it's a bigger deal when an outer planet does it, because these are generational planets. This is subtle energy. And so when we're moving from Pisces into Aries, we're being invited. Aries is the I am sign. Aries is the action-oriented sign. So if we're able to draw from that well of wisdom, if we've been working with the Piscean energy prior to this, by the time we get into our I am self, we're locked and loaded. We're ready. We know our truth. We have courage to speak. When we take action, it is empowered action. It is empowered action for ourselves, but it is also empowered action with the wisdom of Pisces, with the wisdom of the collective. That's what's possible here. The other thing that could happen is if we're not looking at truth, and if we're stuck with blinders on, by the time we get into the energy of Aries, that's the shadow side of Aries. That's I'm going to go for it. I don't care. That's the fear mongering. That's the war type stuff. But then, so there's two possibilities, but then we have to lay that over the what we know about the planet Neptune. This is where it gets cool. Neptune is the planet of illusion and delusion. Neptune is the planet of inner looking, of intuition. Neptune is reminding us that the world is not the 3D world is not what we think. It's not, and Neptune also reminds us that today is simply a product of everything in the past. Neptune really wants us to know that we are creating the world right now. So this is a really cool swath of color to paint over the transition from Pisces into Aries, because this is where we can be convicted in our courage, in our courageous actions. Because if we've been doing the work, doesn't mean that we became an energy healer. It just means that we are present, and our minds are wanting to be open, and we're seeking to be the best version of ourselves. That's what that means. So by the time, if Neptune's moving from sign Aries, we've been we're going to get some really cool upticks in intuitive ideas, in realizations, in ways of putting dots together that never before would have occurred to us. This is a very psychic possibility because Neptune is a psychic sign. It's an intuitive sign. It's about seeing beyond all the muck, right? So I think we can all get behind the idea. It's a really good time for humanity change, to have a download where the fog comes off the windows, so to speak, right? And we're able to be the change. So this is happening today until October this year, and then there's a little bit of time until January next year, and then from January next year onward, we're going to be in this energy. And now it's worth looking at what was going on the last time this happened. It gets interesting because I mentioned about Pluto, that it's kind of still waiting through its Pluto. That was activating the well, here we have Neptune. Last time Neptune in the sign of Aries was from 1862 to 1875. Here we will know that that was Civil War. Stuff up, guys. But it's cool because if we think about what the U.S. Civil War was about, it was about it was a humanitarian conflict that emancipated people from enslavement, and it was about everybody in the country being free, and everybody in the country, at least the men at that time, being equal. It's a big deal. We live in these times, and it's interesting to think that that could be a scary time, but also it shining time for every person on the planet and every person in this country. I'm a little bit American focused here because this is where I'm doing this test from right now, but this is also a global phenomenon. If we think about the US is one of many countries, and a lot of different countries are going through different processes. This was also during this time where there was the formation of the first international Workingmen's Association, which is an international union for workers' rights. So this is a cool time. If we think about what I was saying, the themes, and then I just wanted to, and I don't feel the need, I don't want to scare people because I don't necessarily believe, and I'm not trying to say that we're going through a civil war, because if anything, we're hundreds of years later, and humanity has been awakening. So we're not simply going to push repeat, but the energy is palpable in the ether, and what we choose to do with it that's possibly why we're here. And so to bring back the lens, and I really want people to feel empowered by this, that if we've been doing the work, and if we are truly seeking to be an agent of change, or to be an agent of light, or to be an agent of love, and we're coming through this time where the fog's coming off the glasses, and we're going to be able to, as I said, see things. The dots are going to be connected. We're going to be able to see right through something to the truth of what it is, and we're going to be empowered and courageous to speak our truths, and to do the things that need to be done because we can feel it viscerally. And I think that this is going to be such a massively expansive time for humanity, and I'm excited about it, and I hope that you are too. All right, bright blessings, so much love.